I'm back with another video for us girls because as women, we are taught a lot of things. How to be pretty, how to take care of others, how to be submissive, and most of all, how to ignore our own needs. And as a result, over time, we get stuck in this rut of our own toxic patterns and our own ignorance. So in this video, we are going to go ahead and fix that. And we're going to talk about a few things that every woman needs to know and do, but often completely ignores. These are things that have quietly and surely changed my life, and I know that if you implement them, they're going to change your life too. Number one, gain knowledge about your body. If you want to understand yourself better, you need to start by understanding your body. Most of what we know about ourselves right now is utterly incomplete, but also it comes from a male lens because for decades, medicine, research in biology was designed for men. Most clinical trials were done on male bodies. Most normal ranges were set on male physiology. And most of us never even realized that. But women's bodies work differently, not just because of periods or pregnancy. We metabolize food differently, we react to stress differently, we process pain, medications, even workouts differently. Our hormonal cycle is not just about reproduction, it affects everything from mood to sleep to cravings to motivation to even our brain chemistry, our fat distribution, muscle recovery, nutrient needs. Everything is completely different for what it is for men. Even heart attack symptoms in women look different than in men. So if we want to live healthier, balanced, pain-free lives, we need to understand how our bodies function. I'm attaching a PDF link in the description that has links to various studies and books that you can actually read to learn more about yourself. Understanding your body is one of the most powerful things that you can do as a woman. It protects you from medical gaslighting or doctors ignoring your symptoms. It helps you catch early signs of health issues, and it helps you not fall for misleading claims of health, beauty, diet, wellness, all of that. Number two, get regular health checkups, including self-examinations. Too many Indian women only go to the doctor when something is seriously wrong. But prevention is power. So you need to stay on top of your health. Do you know your iron, B12, thyroid, and vitamin D levels? Do you know why your hair is falling? Have you ever done a breast self-exam? When was the last time you had a pap smear or a basic blood test? These are not just Western concepts, they're life-saving tools. Imbalances in your thyroid, for example, or vitamin D, or iron, or hormones can actually mess with your sleep, your skin, your hair, your weight, even how emotionally stable you feel. Conditions like PCOS, anemia, thyroid dysfunction, breast cancer are so common in Indian women, and they often go undetected for years because we are taught just to deal with it. Start with a basic health panel once a year, learn how to check your breasts every month, pay attention to your energy, your skin, your hair, your digestion, your sleep, not just your weight. Now, speaking of hair, if you have been experiencing hair fall, in addition to getting to the root cause of why it's happening, it also helps to treat it topically by using the right products. And I want to thank the Derma for introducing one such product and also for sponsoring a portion of this video. I am talking about their peptide stem cell hair fall control shampoo. It has ingredients like anagen, which reduces hair fall, copper peptides that protect scalp from damage, and plant stem cells that help rejuvenate hair follicles. These are clinically backed actives that deliver 94% stronger hair in just 3 washes. And they also boost scalp health and hair vitality. It is designed by dermats to be safe and effective. So if you want to try it out, you can use my code Adete2025 on thedermaco.com, and you can also find it on Amazon, Nykaa, Flipkart, and Purple. Number 3, a workout plan that works for you. Again, like we've established, women often deal with a lot more multitasking and a lot more responsibilities than men do in general. As a result, working out or exercising is often the first thing to go out of the window when life gets busy. But did you know Indian women have one of the highest rates of physical inactivity globally? And it is directly linked to rising cases of PCOS, thyroid, bone loss, heart disease. On top of that, after the age of 30, women start losing muscle a lot faster. And 1 in 3 women over 50 are likely to suffer from osteoporosis, which is when your bones become porous and weak. Do you know what the best way to combat this is? Exercising regularly. So working out is not just about having an aesthetic body or having like this insane set of abs. It is about having a body that can move when you are in your 40s and your 50s. So if you do not already work out, start this week, pick something that feels fun, dance, walking, yoga, Pilates, whatever it is. I want you to do it continuously, which means 4 to 5 times a week for 3 months. And once you get consistent in that, then you start to make your routine more balanced. And to do that, you incorporate 3 things into your routine. One is strength training, which you need to do 2 to 3 times a week for muscles, metabolism, and bones. This is what prevents muscle loss and osteoporosis. Second is cardio, even 10 to 20 minutes to support your heart and brain function. And 3 is walking as much as you can to boost recovery, to boost digestion and your energy. And a pro tip, you do not need a gym or equipment to start. Bodyweight exercises plus home walks plus 15-minute routines can take you very, very far. The goal is not perfection. The goal, my dear ladies, is consistency. Coming to tip number 4 that every woman needs to know, and that is breath work or nervous system regulation techniques. Most of us are stressed out all of the time, even if we don't realize it. Our nervous systems are overstimulated all of the time, even if we don't realize it. But how do we deal with this stress? We scroll, we overeat, we isolate ourselves, we suppress our feelings. Basically, we have a ton of unhealthy coping mechanisms. And this happens because we were never taught healthy coping mechanisms, which are actually pretty simple to do, but just take some practice. Ideally, I want you guys to make this a part of your daily routine, and this helps you in general cope much better with life. But if that's not a possibility right now, then try and use these methods whenever you find yourself feeling nervous or anxious. The first is deep belly breathing, which is also known as diaphragmatic breathing, where you inhale and you push your stomach out and you exhale and you push your stomach in. Another one is box breathing, where you basically inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and then again hold for 4 seconds. You can keep increasing this duration from 4 seconds to 6 seconds to 10 seconds to 12 seconds, depending on how long you can inhale and hold your breath. The third is walking without distractions, which means no phones, no music. This basically helps regulate your vagus nerve, and that helps calm you down a lot faster. Another one is a technique called progressive muscle relaxation. I've spoken about this before as well, where you tense and release muscles slowly to basically reset your body and calm yourself down. You can also try something like Yog Nidra, where you basically progressively relax each muscle from the bottom of your body to to the top of your body. And it is very, very relaxing. It's something that I do before I go to sleep when I'm not able to fall asleep, and it helps you fall asleep so much faster. And of course, splashing cold water on your face and your neck. Again, this helps activate your vagus nerve and also your parasympathetic state, which is your rest and your digest state. The more often you do it, the easier it gets to self-regulate instead of spiraling. Now coming to tip number 5, spending more time in nature. Going outside is not just for aesthetics or for Instagram pics. It is literally medicine for your nervous system. Spending just 10 to 15 minutes in nature every single day can actually help you reduce stress at your nervous system level by lowering your cortisol. Sunlight, in addition to that, helps regulate your circadian rhythm. This is especially important for women with irregular cycles, who have mood swings, anxiety, even PCOS. But it's not just this. Nature also helps give your brain a break from overstimulation. This basically helps you improve focus, mental clarity, creativity, plus physically interacting with natural elements like the trees, the soil, the grass has a deep grounding effect on your being. And I cannot tell you how calming it is. If you ever feel stressed and you have a park in your house nearby, or if you have a garden in your house, go outside, just walk in the grass barefoot, and you will feel so much calmer, so much more grounded. It is super, super effective. So now the question is, how do you spend more time in nature? Most of us have very sedentary lifestyles. We're indoor most of the time, either in offices or in colleges or in homes. There's very little time to get outside and actually experience nature. So the first thing you can do is step outside on your chat, on your balcony, wherever it is you have an open space in your house where you can step outside for 5 to 10 minutes. And this is basically to get sunlight in the morning. If you have plants in your balcony, that's a plus. You can sit there near your plants, near the greenery while you're sipping your chai, and do this without your phone, by the way. I'm a big proponent of having plants at home for this very reason, because it means you are surrounded by nature right there. Another thing you can obviously do is walk in a nearby park or a garden, even your colony streets in silence if that's possible. You can plan weekend getaways once a month or once every 2 months to quieter, greener spaces. People who live in cities like Bangalore, for example, have a lot more parks. Even in Delhi, even certain areas, you have parks in every colony. So even if you are not surrounded by jungles all of the time or you don't have greenery all around, there are still these little green pockets where you can go to be near nature. And if you don't have absolutely anything, you can use the hack that Matthew McConaughey used in Interstellar, where he plays like rain sounds and nature sounds in his earphones while he is in space. So that also kind of helps you reconnect. It's not the same thing, but it's still somewhat like that. Now, coming to the next thing you need, ladies, and that is dedicated time to be creative. This is one feminine quality that I highly, highly value, but one that often gets overlooked. Because in our lives, we're just always on the next task, and that creates this loop of a dysregulated nervous system. But when you intentionally take out time to be creative, it helps you get in touch with your more intuitive, emotional side. It's a type of play that helps balance out the hustle that you're involved in. And creative expression is not childish. It is actually very, very healing. It helps release stuck emotions, regulate our nervous system, and remind us that we're more than just our to-do list. And no, you do not need to be good at it to do it. You just need to do it. The next thing you need to do is learn to respect your body without criticizing it. Let me ask you, when was the last time you looked at yourself in the mirror without pointing out a flaw? Personally, it's been a while, honestly. And I can bet that this is the case for most of you who have watched till here. Most of us only really look at our bodies or touch our bodies to fix something. It is never to appreciate our body. It is constant criticism which is disguised as self-checks. Oh, my arms are too big, or I have belly fat. Oh, I'm too skinny. This list keeps on going. I have too big a nose. Whatever it is that you tell yourself when you look at yourself in the mirror, the list is endless. And all the beauty standards and the constant comparisons are clearly not helping. But what I've realized over the years is that you cannot heal, love, or care for something if you're constantly attacking it, and that includes your body. And it's okay if you're not at a stage where you can say that, oh my God, I love my body. That's fine. You can still start by looking at your body, at yourself from a lens of respect. Respect for everything that your body does for you. And if you don't know how to do that, here are a few things that can help. When you look at yourself in the mirror, practice telling yourself that you respect your body. You can even put a small post-it note on the mirror so that every time you look at yourself in the mirror, you notice that post-it note and you can tell yourself that you respect your body. Once you're in that zone, just look at yourself in the mirror, thank your body for everything that it does for you. Feel that gratitude emanating from within you, telling your body that you are grateful for everything that it does. It carries you through life. Everything that you have been through, your body has been through with you. You can list out things that you're grateful for, and you can move your body in ways that feel good to you, like stretching or dancing, walking. Touching your body with kindness is another thing that you can do, where you basically apply lotion slowly, where you massage your arms, your leg, with the feeling of gratitude and love towards your body, like how you would massage a kid if you had one. When you do these things again and again, when you wear clothes that make you feel safe and beautiful, all of these things, they sound simple, but these kind words, these kind of actions where you're reinforcing respect for your body, they signal to your nervous system that you're safe, that your body is not a problem to be solved. It's your oldest home, and that you are treating it like that. The next thing you guys need to learn is learning to say no without over-explaining. And oh my God, every woman needs to learn this. Saying no is not rude, it is not mean, it does not make you selfish. You are allowed to say no simply because something doesn't feel right for you, or because you don't have the capacity. And for that, you need to understand when something doesn't feel right. I'm not saying that you should leave your friends hanging or be rude. What most of us tend to do is come up with a long list of reasons whenever we want to refuse something, or we try to bend over backwards trying to accommodate that thing at a later stage, because we've been conditioned to be accommodating. But saying no without over-explaining means not feeling guilty for prioritizing yourself when you need to. And one of the easiest ways to do this is to just ask for some time before committing to something. This basically allows you to understand if you really want to say yes, and it also allows you to come up with a decent excuse or a decent way to say no, because no is a full sentence. Even if other people are not there yet, it has to start with you being able to understand this first. You can say it with kindness, but you don't have to package it with people pleasing. Now, what exactly happens when you're learning to say no? You're basically learning how to set a boundary. And that is the next thing you need to learn. Again, it's difficult because of our conditioning to be people pleasers, and I made a YouTube short a while back about how setting boundaries can drastically change your life. But every second comment on that short, and I don't know, it has like 9 million views now. Every second comment on that short is about how if you do this, if you set boundaries, you're going to end up alone. Like, setting boundaries is the recipe for ending up alone. Most of these are obviously from men who inherently benefit from our lack of having boundaries. But you know what the truth is? That people who truly care about you, they will respect your boundaries. Your boundaries are not like this armor that you put up. They're like a filter that you put up, like a chalni through which you can sieve out things that you don't want and you only keep the energy that you want. Which is why your boundaries will never push away the right people. They will help you stay rooted in your self-worth while navigating the world around you. If, however, you are somebody who is creating walls around yourself, you are not letting other people in, or you're just keeping people at a distance and you're calling that setting boundaries, that is not setting boundaries. That is avoidance of the issue that you are ignoring, right? But that is a problem that we will tackle in another video. If you guys want a video around this, let me know. For now, here is how you can get started with boundaries. First, practice it with low stakes situations to build the muscle, right? This is like working out. When you start working out for the first time, you don't go ahead and do like a 50 kg squat. You start with a 5 kg squat. That's exactly how you need to treat your boundaries. For example, saying no to social gatherings or events that are draining you. Then you move up high on the ladder. You do more high stakes situations like saying no to a partner for something he wants to do but you don't want to do. You know what I mean? Another thing you need to do is set digital boundaries, which is phone on sleep mode after hours, no social media in bed, no Instagram on waking up. Check in with your body in any situation you feel tense. When that happens, you probably need a boundary with yourself or with somebody else. And remember that setting boundaries with yourself is how you build self-trust and self-respect. If you say you'll go to bed early and you don't, you're just telling your brain that you don't stick to your word. And that basically also signals to your brain that it's okay if somebody else doesn't stick to their word or doesn't honor a boundary that you set. You need to make something happen if you have committed to it. The next thing you need to learn is letting yourself outgrow old identities. One quote that completely changed my brain chemistry is, "The things that once helped you survive don't necessarily help you thrive." At different stages in life, we build versions of ourselves that feel safe, that feel familiar, that help us navigate that particular situation. The always nice girl, the overachiever, the one who never asked for help. These are all versions of us that helped us navigate a particular situation in life. But what happens when you are not very intentional after this version has helped serve its purpose? Right? We end up building our entire identities around survival patterns because at one point they worked. But we forget that if we want to grow beyond that, we need to dig deeper and understand if those identities right now are keeping us small or are they helping us grow. You are allowed to change, to no longer want the things that you once did. It is going to be scary because change always is. But if you want to grow, you need to learn how to repeatedly outgrow old identities that are no longer serving you. You need to learn how to unlearn old conditioning. Something I feel really helps here is just constantly working on learning new things in life, because when you're in learning mode, you're constantly dealing with change, and that makes it a lot easier to deal with change in other areas of life. And finally, the 11th thing I want you to learn is to stop making everything about self-improvement. As counterintuitive as that sounds at the end of a self-improvement video, this is very, very important. You need to remember that not all seasons of your life are meant for self-improvement. In fact, most of them are meant for experiencing life, and self-growth happens automatically. But if you're just constantly trying to improve yourself, you forget to live. You're in a constant state of self-criticism, and that is not something that's healthy or necessary. You do not need to optimize every hour, you don't have to turn every emotion into a lesson, and you don't have to turn every hobby into a side hustle. Sometimes normal is enough. I know it might feel overwhelming to change the way that you've been living or thinking about your body, your emotions, but here's the thing, you don't have to be perfect, you just have to start somewhere. Pick one thing from this list, maybe it's tracking your cycle or taking 10 minutes outside each day, and try to make it into a habit first. You do not need to overhaul everything all at once. You just need to start. Because this is the first step towards giving yourself a life where you feel supported, where you feel seen, where you are informed. You're not alone in this, and every small choice that you make to nurture yourself is a big win. And with that, we come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, if you think it will help a woman in your life, make sure you share it with her. Make sure you go watch this video next because YouTube says you're gonna love it. And I'm gonna see you guys very, very soon in another one. Bye.